Ever ask a chatbot a simple question about today's weather or current events, only to hit a brick wall? You get that polite but frustrating message. As an AI, I do not have real-time information. That happens because a standard LLM, it's like a brilliant brain trapped inside a glass box, is completely isolated. Its only job is to guess the next word in a sentence based on the data it was originally trained on. Because it only knows the past, this brain can't browse the web for today's news. It can't look up a flight delay in a database. It can't even do real math. It just guesses what an equation's answer should look like based on past text patterns. To make this technology practically useful in the modern world, we need to break the glass. We need to transition from a standalone text generator into a connected system called an AI agent. Building an agent starts with taking that language model and making it the central brain of a multi-part operation. We start by giving this brain a job description. We do this using a system prompt. This is a set of operating instructions that tells the AI exactly who it is, what its goals are, and what rules it must follow. This prompt dictates exact formatting rules for how the model writes its responses, and it outlines which external abilities the brain is authorized to use. By setting these boundaries, the system prompt takes a passive machine that just answers questions and turns it into a focused, role-specific worker. Our brain now knows its job, but it still lacks a body. It has no mechanical way to retrieve fresh data or affect the outside world. This is where tools come in. Tools are specific, single-purpose functions, like a web search or a weather API, which is like a digital bridge that lets the AI talk to a different program. These tools orbit the brain, waiting to be used. Instead of relying entirely on its old training data, the language model can now write a command to activate one of these tools, pulling in dynamic, real-time facts whenever it needs them. Equipping the model with these tools is the threshold that upgrades a conversational AI into a true agent with the power to act. But how does a system that only generates text actually push the buttons on a calculator? It uses a rhythmic cycle called ReACT. Think of it like a musician alternating between reading sheet music and playing a note. The first phase is thought. When you give the agent a task, it uses its internal reasoning to evaluate your request and plan a step-by-step strategy. Once it has a plan, it moves to the action phase. The AI outputs a highly specific, formatted text command designed to trigger the correct tool for the job. For this to work, the text generation has to pause. This is a stop and parse approach, much like a librarian stopping to read the call number on a book before walking to the shelf. The AI halts entirely, letting the external computer system read the command and run the tool. Then comes the observation phase. The tool finishes its job and sends the raw environmental data or feedback straight back into the system. The AI looks at this new observation, forms a new thought about what to do next, and takes another action. The loop spins continuously, gathering information until the final answer is compiled. This continuous cycle of thinking, doing, and observing is the fundamental engine that powers every task an agent completes on its own. So if we ask our agent that same weather question from earlier, we don't get a generic refusal. Instead, we get a successful, real-time response because the system thought about the problem, used a tool, and observed the result. An AI agent is a coordinated system built around the text-generating technology we already have. To recap, you now know the 4 core pieces: the language model that acts as the brain, the system prompt that gives it rules, the tools that let it interact with the world, and the ReACT loop that keeps it moving. Mastering these 4 components provides the exact theoretical foundation you need to pass your fundamental certification and begin building your own autonomous agents.